Hello and welcome to Local 23 News Midday. I'm Sydney Gray. Thank you for joining us. We have an update to a story we first brought you on Local 23. FAR police released pictures of the car they believe is being driven by three people of interest in a home invasion murder investigation. Police want to question Derek Medina, Sixto Gonzalez, and Leslie Medina. As of right now, no charges have been filed against them. The incident happened around 6:45 Friday evening at a home on West Freda Street. Police say two men forcefully entered the house, demanded drugs, and started shooting. Jose Morales was killed, and the other man, Eric Garza, was arrested and charged with murder. Well, a limited number of fans will be allowed to attend the Tokyo Olympics. The decision comes as organizers try to save some of the spirit of the games, where even cheering has been banned. Our reporter Janice Mackey-Freyer brings us the latest on the games from Beijing.
Good to hear and to see you.
A decision to allow domestic fans at the Tokyo Olympics is boosting certainty the games will go ahead. Months ago, it was determined that foreign visitors could not attend, but now domestic fans will be allowed in small numbers. Officials say the upper limit is 50% at most venues to a maximum of 10,000 people. But these plans could be changed or scrapped altogether if another state of emergency is required to bring COVID under control. The decision contradicts the advice of Japan's top medical advisor, who said the safest way to pull off the games would be to have no fans, and most Japanese are opposed to hosting the games at all. But IOC officials and organizers say it's important for athletes to have spectators watching live. There will be other restrictions in place with a little over a month to go before the opening ceremony. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
Track and field Olympic trials resume today with 5 finals. The events are the pole vault, javelin throw, men's triple jump in 800 meters, and women's 1,500 and 5,000 meters. Reigning national champion and American record holder, Shelby Houlihan will not participate in the women's races. She received a 4-year ban last week for violating anti-doping rules. Houlihan tested positive for a steroid, which she says came from pork in a burrito. You can expect updates on the trials right here on Local 23 at 4:30. The U.S. gymnastics trials begin this week. It's the final step on the way to Tokyo, and Simone Biles and the rest of the gymnasts are ready to compete.
Every time I go out there to compete, I'm competing against myself.
I'm just hyped. I feel like everything's turned on.
You really have to be mentally prepared to go.
Don't try to be perfect. You're good enough, you're here, so just do you.
What I'm telling myself is you've got this.
These opportunities only happen once in a lifetime.
You make this look as good as you can, because now everyone's watching, and it finally counts.
Well, the U.S. Gymnastics Olympic trials begin this Thursday, June 24th, in St. Louis, Missouri. The Tokyo Olympics begin July 23rd, live right here on NBC. Continuing our coverage of the coronavirus pandemic, a new study suggests COVID-19 may lead to loss of brain tissue. British researchers examined brain images from nearly 400 COVID patients before and after they were infected. They saw significant loss of gray matter in several areas of the brain, including the parts related to taste. Researchers did not see this in the scans of people who made up the control group. Now, it's important to note that this study has not been peer-reviewed, nor has it been published in a medical journal. This week, a CDC advisory committee will meet to discuss reports of people with heart inflammation after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. During a White House COVID briefing last week, CDC Director Dr. Walensky said these cases are rare and most of the patients have recovered. Still, Dr. Walensky is reiterating the importance of getting that COVID vaccine. Alrighty, it is time now for a check of our forecast with meteorologist Freddie Vela. Freddie, it has been so hot this past weekend. Can we expect more heat this week?
I feel like it's even hot in here because of that.
Right?
You know, yeah.
Warming up everywhere.
It is all over the place. Yeah, you know, the heat has continued to rise. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look right now at our current temperatures across the Rio Grande Valley. You're going to notice how warm it is. 87 degrees in Rio Grande City, 87 in McAllen, 87 in Weslaco, and 91 degrees for those out towards Brownsville. High-resolution radar showing some activity out towards the Gulf of Mexico. None of those showers have made their way on in, but they could. We have watches and warnings all across the RGV. I'll have an update coming up in 10 minutes.
Thank you so much for that update, Freddie. News across Texas. Governor Greg Abbott follows through on his threat to veto the new state's budget provision for paying legislative staff. Abbott threatened to do so after a walkout by House Democrats in the final hours of the regular legislative session. The walkout denied a House quorum to vote on voting restriction laws. The budget takes effect on September 1st. Governor Abbott is expected to call a special session this summer where he's expected to bring up the voting restrictions bill again. The bill limits early voting, bans drive-through voting, and tightens vote-by-mail rules. The U.S. Senate is scheduled to vote on voting rights legislation tomorrow. There are two pieces of legislation, including the For the People Act, which expands access to the ballot by introducing automatic voter registration, protecting mail-in voting, and establishing nationwide standards for early voting. Now, Republican senators are expected to use a filibuster rule to slow or even halt those discussions. The issue of voting rights comes as more states pass stricter voting laws, which Democrats say targets minority voters.
Taking away the right of people to participate in American democracy is unacceptable, and the Congress must address that in any and every way.
They're trying to fix a problem most Republicans have a different view of.
Unfortunately, what he does is what the larger bill S1 does, which is it takes the election system in this country and federalizes it.
Some Democrats say they also want to make Election Day a national holiday. Making headlines today, American Airlines is expected to cancel even more flights today due to staffing shortages and maintenance issues. Now, there are no cancellations out of McAllen and Valley International, but 2 flights are delayed out of McAllen. This list of afternoon departures and arrivals are there on your screen for you. American Airlines says it'll trim its schedule by 1% through mid-July. The disruptions come as airlines try to work through a surge in vacation demand after record losses due to the pandemic. This Friday, pandemic benefits will expire. Texans will stop all additional federal unemployment aid, including a $300 weekly pandemic benefit. Governor Greg Abbott cut the funds back in May, saying the number of job openings was almost identical to the number of Texans receiving unemployment benefits. Here in the Valley, businesses are still struggling to get fully staffed. Vice President Kamala Harris is traveling to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today. Harris will be joined by U.S. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh. They're scheduled to attend a labor roundtable as well as an event on the child tax credit. On July 15th, qualifying families will receive $250 a month for kids between the ages of 6 and 17. Families with kids younger than 6 will receive $300 a month. Coming up, summertime means pool time. What a Valley official is asking parents to do for their kids this summer as breaks begin. And several storms caused tons of damage from the Midwest to the east over the weekend. The cities hit the hardest after the break.